In Kenshi, there is a phrase that mostly every player has said at least once in their gaming experience. Well, I'm about to die. The vast amounts of humans in Kenshi that want nothing more than to kill you and sell you into slavery is unfortunately the status quo in most places, so combat is inevitable. The only way you're going to survive in Kenshi is through attacking your enemies before they can get you, and as a great man once said, the best offense is a good defense, so let's go over the best armor you can grab early game. There are 5 main armor slots in Kenshi: head, shirt, boots, legs, and armor itself. Let's start with shirt. The shirt is a good backup armour to have in Kenshi as it gives protection to your torso and stomach, which is the main area you're going to be hit in a fight. Now I'm not going to say buy a leather shirt and hope for the best, because there is a high level shirt closer than you think. Heading over to the Shek ruins near Squin will give you a chainmail shirt. Chainmail is endgame armour for the shirt slot as it gives extreme cut protection to your upper body area, and we can not only find a high grade piece here but 2 lower tiers as well for groups, a great start for under armoured players. The next armour piece is considered the most important by some: headgear. All it takes is one clean hit to the head and your character is down, so it makes sense to keep it covered. Now in the early game you might think, oh, I should try and get a metal helmet or maybe a cool bandana, but I'm here to tell you 2 words: dust protection. Most areas in Kenshi are ravaged by dust storms on the daily, and many players don't know that while being in a dust storm, your combat stats are debuffed by 10. That's a lot for the early game, as it will most likely put you into the negatives, and you've got the fight IQ of Stephen Hawking with a stick. With that being said, there is a simple solution: the armoured Tegel Musk. It is not only nice protecting your noggin with chainmail, but it also negets most of the dust storms, allowing you to have the edge in early fights. And because dust storms are in most areas, an investment into a good Tegel Must will carry you for a long time. To acquire one, simply head to a headgear shop in either Admag or Stack and purchase any, as they will all give same dust protection. On to boots. It's quite simple. In the early game you're going to be doing a lot of running, and many armours that protect you will be slowing you down, so encountering a dust bandit crew or a beak thing is pretty much a death sentence when outnumbered, so the obvious choice is wooden sandals. These sandals might not give armour, but they will give the user a 10% run increase and a small combat speed increase, which is extremely helpful in these situations. And most of the armour that will protect your legs will be on the leggings anyway. To acquire wooden sandals, go to any boot shop, or an easier way, lead a starving bandit crew to a town and then loot the leader, as they always carry them on them. Nearing the end, we're on to leg armour. Now as previously mentioned, we don't want our armour slowing us down in the early game, so we need something sturdy but also light, which brings us to the samurai cloth pants. These are not only the perfect match for our playstyle, but are also extremely common. We're going to buy from the armour shop in Squin. We can buy a standard pair for a good price. Now on to the last piece. Armour. The slot that will give us the bulk of our defence. Now this piece was a difficult one to choose for me, as I needed to balance a good set of armour with something beginners can grab, and the answer might surprise you. First we need to acquire some money, and for beginners I have a video that will get them enough for this purchase. It's the first video I ever produced and you can quickly watch that before this part, but if money isn't an issue then we need to head to Mongrel. It's considered a dangerous place, but I encourage new players to go there to train combat abilities by staying near the town and levelling up against the Fogmen, but we're here for one thing. The armour we're going to buy is Masterwork Samurai armour. Yes, this is not only early game friendly, but is also guaranteed spawn, and this can be bought any time, and after paying quite an absorbent amount of cats, you can now truly call yourself ready for combat. This armour might slow you down a bit because of the weight, but because we've been careful with our other armours and wearing wooden sandals, this shouldn't change much. Now we look like a tank. The weird looking dumpster diving tank, but a tank nonetheless. Now let's try it out. We're going to have 2 situations. One where we fight an enemy with no weapons while being completely unarmoured, and another situation where we are fighting an enemy but with the armour we have just acquired, and we're going to see the different results. So for now we're going to attack an enemy while we have no armour on, and even though it is on right now, the block option will not be on, so it's going to be a pure combat with no weapons or armour. So if we just speed it up a bit, we see straight away that our head's been damaged and both our legs are being attacked. Now this is okay for early game, but what we now start to realise is that with our organs being hit, with our vital areas being hit, like the chest, we're going to be bleeding out a lot. And because it's been unarmoured, our KO point on the left is going to go below that threshold, and most likely in a real situation in Kenshi, we would bleed out and die because we have no one to help us and we cannot get up because we will be in a recovery coma. Now let's do the exact same fight but with the armour that we have previously brought. Block is now off and we're going to fight the exact same enemy. Now as we can see straight away we are taking significantly less damage to our main areas. Our legs are being mulched up a bit, but that doesn't matter because they are non-vital areas, which means that even if they do go down, just like here, we can get straight back up again. Now I don't advise this really early game, but that means we can level up toughness quickly. So as we noticed between the two comparisons there, when we did not have the armour, we was left in a recovery coma and most likely would have bled out. But with the new armour, we was able to even get up and fight a second time, which, even though it was a bit silly, it means that in a real situation, we could have waited until the enemy run away, and then we could heal ourselves up and then fight another day, with a lot more stats now. So that's the end of it, guys. If you feel like I've missed anything, or if you think there's any better armour for beginners, please leave them in the comments. I read all of them and I reply to all of them. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, or comment if you have any questions about the game or anything about Kenshi itself. Thanks, and remember to have a good one.